And good evening to the PBA YouTube channel. Thanks everybody that's joining us here on the main feed. They are just underway in practice for this special Tuesday night squad being held in conjunction with the PBA Junior World Series of Bowling. Now, it's not the squad not just open to participants in that PBA Junior WSOB. We've got some parents bowling. We've got some local players bowling as well. So pretty big squad for Tuesday night. We'll give you the run through on that squad and everybody on it once practice is completed. I'm $2 Phil Brilo, taking you once again through the PBA LBC National Championships competition. Every frame, every game, every bowler, every squad available to you here for the PBA LBC National Championships on the PBA YouTube channel. So once again, not every pair in play tonight. We're close to a full squad. 64 players make a full squad here at the PBA LBC National Championships, but a lot of the youth players are participating in the PBA Junior World Series of Bowling. We'll have the man who handles everything with the PBA Junior program, Mike Sleds. We'll bring him in the booth during probably during later in game 2, early into game 3, once he gets everything running with this particular squad. They just finished up earlier today with day 2 of competition. We were on the Danielle McEwen pattern earlier today. Yesterday started with the O'Neill pattern. Tomorrow the youth players will take on the EJ Tackett pattern. But once again, as for all squads, with this PBA LBC National Championships, it's that special pattern. 42 feet in length, about 31.25 milliliters of oil, and about a 4.5 to 1 ratio inside to outside. So just past the halfway point on practice. As we continue to check out players in the field, lanes 3 through 32 will be in play tonight. And the bowlers will move pairs of lanes after each game of competition. As they get their 6 games totals posted. If you're looking for a specific player, thanks for joining us here in the main feed. We'll go through the whole rundown of what players are where during game 1. We'll also give you the lane movement after each game. So the best thing to do, and a lot of our people have been watching week in, week out on the PBA YouTube channel, is if you open up the description of the video that you're watching, if you're not watching full screen yet, if you have to watch full screen, go back to a normal size Facebook page screen, and you'll see all the links for all the different pairs in play. Right-click on the link that your bowler is on. Like if you're a Tyler Paulus fan, you see he's bowling right here on 17 and 18. We're going to be bouncing around all different pairs on the main feed. We follow leaders. We follow players trying to get into the lead. We follow players that might be throwing a perfect game. And that's what we do here in the main feed. And then you'll have all the pair feeds available to you to follow your favorite player game by game. And we'll give you that lane movement after each game is nearing completion. If you have any questions about the PBA Junior program, especially this PBA Junior World Series of Bowling that's happening during the day, once again, any games bowled on this squad only count towards the LBC National Championship standings. There's nothing involved with the PBA Junior World Series of Bowling on this squad tonight, but we can get those questions answered when we bring Mike Sleds in the booth. Thanks to everybody that's joining us so far. And as I mentioned right when practice began, it's not all youth players. The majority of the squad's youth players. We do have some parents bowling. We do have some other local bowlers bowling. But yeah, the majority of the squad will be PBA Junior members. And somebody is looking for the senior bowler squad. That's actually next week, Friday. So that's June 27th at 1 p.m. Central Time. That'll be your start time. And there's going to be a lot of the players from the PBA 50 Tour on that squad on the 27th, as they're going to be finished with the stop at Olympia Lanes in Hammond with the PBA 50 South Shore Open. That tournament goes Monday through Thursday of next week. Monday will start the practice sessions and pro-ams. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday will be competition. And then Friday, those players will come over here. And a lot of those players that following weekend, on the 28th and 29th, there's a PBA 50, PBA 60 regional doubles event. That'll be bowling nearby in Arlington Heights at Beverly Lanes, pardon me.
Everyone on your pair is finished with each game. Please make sure to hit the space bar to move your scores to the next pair. Ladies and gentlemen, and all spectators, let's give these competitors a nice round of applause. Good luck and good scoring to everyone.
All right, so let's start with your players here in 3 through 6. On 3 and 4, it's Ryan Carmichael, Victor Williams, and Ian Hohenscheid. So, Carmichael is bowling in the Open and Classic division. Now, these youth players.
Just one other announcement. We had a question regarding lane courtesy. We do not need to do the double jump during this tournament. One lane courtesy on each side of you is perfectly acceptable.
So you see Carmichael, even though he's definitely a PBA Junior member, probably averages more than 220 or close to, if not more, in their league bowling. So it makes sense for them to bowl in the Open Classic division. They can bowl up into higher divisions. And that's what we're seeing with Carmichael. Victor Williams bowling in boys junior handicap, but he's coming in at a 210 average, so he's going to have to throw some big games. And Hohenscheid bowling in the Open Classic division. Next door we got a couple older players on that pair. We have Billy King and Joseph King Jr. Billy King bowling in the men's handicap, coming in at a 157 average. Joseph King Jr. bowling in the senior classic division, as you see King pick up that spare. Ernesto Reynoso, man who's done a lot in the PBA Junior program. He's bowling in the Open Classic division. And Harper Burnett. Harper is also bowling in the Open Classic division. Let's get over to 7 through 10. 7 and 8 not in play on this squad. So 9 and 10, Dylan Dobran, David Upham, Blaine Upham, and Drew Parker are your bowlers. Dylan Dobran in the Open Classic division, David Upham in the boys junior handicap division with a 191 average. Blaine Upham in the boys handicap division at a 191 average as well, and Drew Parker in the Open Classic division. Over to lanes, 11 to 14. On 11 and 12, Autumn Strode, Addison Johnson, Jackson Dice, Robert Bolwin. Autumn bowling in the women's classic division. Addison also in the women's classic division. Jackson Dice bowling in the Open Classic division. And Robert Bolwin in the Open Classic division. On 13 and 14, Brian Burkhart, Bennett Burkhart, Kimmy Pike, and Evan Flath. Brian Burkhart in the Senior Classic division with Bennett bowling in the Boys Junior Handicap. Kimmy Pike bowling in the Girls Junior Handicap, coming in with a 187 average. And Evan Flath, bowling in the Men's Handicap division. Let's get over to 15 to 18. On 15 and 16, Nathan Harnett, Nicholas Harnett, Easton Van Hovelen, and Gavin Brode. And once again, even though we're switching from pair to pair, you can follow your favorite player on the lanes that they're on. All the pair feeds available in the description of the video that you're watching. Nathan bowling the Open Classic division. Easton also in that same Open Classic division. Nicholas in the Open Classic division, and Gavin rounds out with the Boys Junior Handicap, coming in at a 207 average. On 17-18, Savannah Portillo, Jeremy Stapleton Jr., Tyler Paulus, Daniel Dew. Savannah in the Women's Classic division. Jeremy in the Boys Handicap division, coming in at a 183 average. Tyler coming in the Open Classic division, and Daniel in the Men's Handicap division, coming in at 204. Well, they do have some parents bowling with, so yeah, it's a mixture of players on the squad. Yes, it is mostly PBA Junior players. That's why you saw the logo on the main feed on the PBA YouTube channel. But hey, you don't want to have to make an extra trip for mom and dad if they are looking to bowl as well, so that's why I'm glad that they have that all set. I take a little personal pride in these players here on 21 and 22, as these players were all awarded free entries courtesy of $2 Phil. That's right, yours truly. I sponsored 4 players in this event with basically just a drawing. We had people enter on social media, and we gave 4 youth players a complimentary entry into this PBA LBC National Championships. So thanks to the, first of all, PBA LBC National Championships for not only working with me for the live streaming here, 10 of their productions providing that for the PBA, but also they provide entries all year long for the Brew City Bowling Show that I produce in Wisconsin. We had 30 weeks of bowling on television, broadcast television this past year from October to the end of May. And you can actually find those Brew City Bowling Show episodes out on YouTube. So we've got Christian Peterson, Nyla Duzon, Ariana DeSanto, and Clark Bonnewell on 21 and 22. Clark, I know, moved up into the Open Classic division. Ariana coming in with a 169 average in the girls handicap division. Nyla is in the girls handicap division at 179. And Christian Peterson, Christian bowling in the boys junior division at a 212 average. Let's get you over to 19. Pardon me, let's get you over to 23 through 26. As we're getting close to the end of game one. Mel Sim, Kylie Sim, Christopher Sim, Halen Stubbe, your bowlers on 23 and 24. Mel Sim bowling in the Open Classic division. Kylie Sim bowling in the women's handicap division. Kylie coming in at a 49 average. Love the pink tutu. Mel Sim made a nice run last year at the PBA, at the Parker Bone III Scholarship Tournament in New Jersey in September. Took down the under 15 boys title. So good to see Mel here. Christopher Sim bowling in the boys handicap at a 149 average. And Hayden Stubbe. Hayden bowling in the Open Classic division. Over on 25 and 26. Josh Weems, Sharon Weems, William Cunningham III, and Kai Struthers. Josh Weems, great youth player from here in the Chicagoland area. Josh bowling in the Open Classic division. Same for Cunningham, who you see losing the glasses on the follow-through. Yikes. Still picked up the spare. Sharon Weems, looks like Sharon not here. So, and Kai Struthers also in the Open Classic division. Run down the rest of our players here as we're getting close to the end of game one. Especially because we have Caden White looking to step up to start with 279. White on 29 and 30. Still a solid start for Caden, who's in the Open Classic division. other players on 29-30. Breck Strobel, Caden Ball, and Blake Glines. Blake in the Open Classic division, Caden in the men's handicap division coming in at a 199 average. Andrew in the Open Classic division next door on 27 and 28. Brett Biondo, Quinn Tillman. Brett Biondo in the Open Classic division. Quinn Tillman also in the Open Classic division. Rush Steen and Andrew Fisnati. Andrew in the Open Classic division and Rush in the Open Classic division. And let's get to our final pair in play here on lanes 31 and 32, as 33 and 34 not used for this squad. Dahoon Kwan, Weston Griffin, Cameron Morton, and Misael Garcia. Cameron in the Open Classic division. Dahoon in the Open Classic division. Misael in the Open Classic division. And Weston in the Open Classic division. So all four players on that pair in the Open Classic. A couple players decided to take off this squad that you may have followed in PBA Junior competition, especially with this PBA Junior World Series of Bowling. Roll-off earlier today for the McEwen Championship in the U18 girls was between Anna Antony and Bella Love Castillo. Anna coming out on top, both those players taking the night off. So some players decided they want to continue bowling. Other players deciding it's time to rest for the final day of PBA Junior World Series of Bowling qualifying tomorrow on the Tackett pattern. So if you get more questions about PBA Junior or about this squad, please drop them in the chat. We'll get to them as quick as we can. Sometime between game 2 and 3, we'll get Mike Sleds in the booth with us. And we will follow players as they move around. For those of you that are double tabbing and want to know where your favorite players are going, the players are just basically moving two pairs and landing on the third. Skipping two, landing on the third. So the players you see here on 31 and 32, they're going to be moving down to 5 and 6. Pardon me. So that's moving two pairs, landing on the second pair. I apologize. My count was off slightly. So skip a pair, land on the second for all players bowling. So if you were following Dylan Dobran or David Upham on 9 and 10, they're moving to 13 and 14. If you were following Mel Sim, he's going from 23 and 24 to 27 and 28. As we are finishing up with this first qualifying game for the LBC National Championship squad. Emil is not here. Emil actually wrapped up coverage for Bowl TV for the Women's U.S. Open. He's probably behind the scenes working on the TV crew there as we speak. Great cover there by Kylie. Kylie coming in with a 49 average. And she's going to double that this game. Great start for Kylie. Can she keep it rolling through all the games? as she's going to be receiving some handicap, coming in with that 49 average. It's handicapped 80% of 220 for all players in all the handicap divisions, whether it's men, women, boys, or girls. So I'm sure we'll probably see Emil here sometime. Whether we get him on air with us on any of the squads we might have, I would say that's highly doubtful. But keep an eye, if you're a Bowl TV subscriber, listen a lot for Emil on the PWBA. He does most of those live stream events for the women's tour. And also does several events on his own with, as you mentioned, Bowl Stream TV. Know he does a lot of work with youth players here with the Elite Youth Tour in the Chicagoland area. He commentates and handles the live streaming functions for Elite Youth Tour as well. Was kind of a couple of years ago to bring me in for one of those events. Had an absolute blast with DeAndre Beatty and their crew at the EYT. So once again, player movement. Players are skipping a pair, landing on the second for game 2. And we'll be underway with that second game momentarily. I'm $2 Phil Brylo. Rogue Foppy will be joining us in the booth later on as well. As a bowler who hasn't been on a youth leagues for that long, she can let us talk a little bit about how youth players might be relating to going from one tournament to another here. As the PBA LBC National Championships, we're at Bolero Mount Prospect for this special Tuesday night squad. And it's not too late to sign up. There's still 4 weekends of competition left. Most of the spots on the weekend of June 27th, 28th, 29th, that weekend's full up. There's 5 squads between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and they are sold out. But if you're looking to get in, there's some openings on Saturday night this week at 7 p.m. local time. And there's some openings on Sunday at 11 a.m. And then there's also openings for the 2 weekends in July that this tournament will be occurring. So PBA.com/LBC tournament gets you all the information as to what's going on here at Bolero Mount Prospect. All right, underway with our second game of the 6. Yeah, I love the bowling outfit for Kylie Sim. I've known the Sim family for a couple of years now. They're out on the East Coast. They're here for Mel bowling the PBA Junior World Series of Bowling. And make a little family trip out of it. And give the kids a chance to bowl. So you see CJ stepping up for the Sim family, and had CJ in the booth with me a couple of years ago. He loves all the live streaming stuff. I think his future someday, if he can't be a professional bowler, I think CJ wants to be a professional bowling broadcaster at the young age of 11. That's the thing with these PBA Junior players, and it's kind of that way on the tour as well. Yeah, you want to beat the crap out of the guy that's bowling with you, against you on the lanes, but if somebody does something pretty good, you got to give credit where credit's due. And lots of friendships built for off the lanes. Someone's looking for Mathander Lutan. I don't have Mathander on the roster tonight, so he may be one of those players. Yeah, he may be one of those players that decided after a couple of days of PBA Junior World Series of Bowling competition to grab some rest instead of bowling 6 additional games. So Fanta Jackson, unfortunately, you'll have to tune into Bowl TV tomorrow if you're a subscriber. And how about that for a break for Mr. Cunningham? Something comes off the sideboard on a high hit. Takes out the 610. And some of these players with only 2 on a, or 3 on a pair, like you have a Cunningham, Struthers, and Weems, yeah, they're getting done a little on the quick side. That's the thing, is that all 3 of those players normally don't take a lot of time on the approach. Kai is like, all right, my turn to go. I know where I'm standing. I'm going to step up there, and then things are underway in a quick fashion. There you go. Proving it right there. As Struthers, you know, we've seen players on both sides of the lane, left-handed and right-handed players during the first 3 weekends of this PBA LBC National Championships. They try to get an outside shot on this 42-foot pattern, and the ball, it's a playable shot. Talking to a couple players after we've done this past Sunday, said it's playable, but if you make a speed, you've got 3 boards to play with, but if your speed's 0.2 of a mile off and you're missing, you're done. If you're 0.2 of a mile fast, you're going to 210, and if you're 0.2 of a mile slow, you're going to 4-pin or worse. And how about that for Jazz? As the 6-pin leaves a vapor trail to take the 10 out. And once again, all these players, regardless of age or division status, are eligible to try to earn a mini Duke. That's right, any player who throws a 300 game during PBA LBC National Championships competition earns the best award for a perfect game in the sport of bowling, in my humble opinion. And that is a miniature version of the Norm Duke Trophy that's won by our overall LBC National Championships Clash winner. And unfortunately there, as you see for Caden Ball, the wrap 10 takes away his chance at a mini Duke for this game. No, it's kind of funny with somebody mentioned Norm in the chat, and first time Norm saw his own trophy, his own likeness of himself in bronze back in 2023. He thought he looked like Paul Lynn in the trophy. If anybody can remember back to that gentleman, that comedian from the 70s and 80s. He goes, they showed me the trophy. I thought it was Paul Lynn for a minute. Definitely looks a little bit more like Norm the last couple of years. And if you missed it a few weeks ago, when we had Norm in the booth, the opening weekend, all three squads, but after you're done watching tonight, take 6 minutes out of your night and go to the Sunday squad, Sunday, June 1st squad, the main feed. There's only one squad that day. It says noon Eastern time on that squad. Just watch the first 6 minutes of that squad and listen to the Norm commentary about, well, bowling's newest friend, I think. There's a lot of people that have seen it and really enjoy it. With Pedro, the behind-the-back bowler. We're going to stay here on 5 and 6 with Weston on the front 6. Looking around, seeing if any other pairs have front bunches. I mean, it's not surprising that these young players are figuring out this 42-foot LBC National Championships pattern. In a relative hurry, as they've been bowling on tough stuff all week between the opening O'Neill pattern and today's McCune pattern for PBA Junior World Series of Bowling for those that have bowled on it. Of course, several players, this might be their first time seeing the PBA LBC National Championships pattern. So before Weston goes up, we're going to get over as we've got another front 5. Brian Burkhart, who you see on 17 and 18. Burkhart looking to stay perfect through 6. And does so. Now back over to Weston and Griffin. Griffin started with 233. Looking to make it front 7. There we go. And Griffin looking to get his Open Classic division off to a hot start. Actually, it's a pair of front 6s there on 17 and 18 with Evan Flath staying perfect through 6. It's past Saturday here at the LBC National Championships in Game 5 of the 9 a.m. squad. Derek Oaf, Chad Maas both came into the 10th frame on the same pair with the front 9. Both made it to the front 11. Neither got the 300, however. Oaf with a 298 after coming up light. And Chad Moss, who was looking to become the first player to have 3 Mini Dukes, as he earned 2 in the 2023 PBA LBC National Championships. He's already through 2 perfect games in a 6-game set. Great shot by Burkhart, front 7, back to Griffin, looking for front 8. There we go. And now I'll be waiting for Evan to throw his possible 7th in a row. All right, so we've got Weston Griffin on the front 8. We'll get over to him momentarily. We got Brian Burkhart looking to get to the front 8. We've got Evan Flock looking to get to the front 8. And Brian and Weston throwing it at the same time. So Brian makes it happen. Weston makes it happen. So we have our first bid for a Mini Duke tonight. And we'll get back to Weston Griffin momentarily, as he'll have his chance at the Mini Duke in just a moment. Will we have 8 in a row? No! The ring 10 doesn't let it happen. So we'll keep an eye on Brian Burkhart when he comes back. But right now, all eyes are on Weston Griffin, as Weston on the front 9 here in Game 2 of this special Tuesday evening PBA LBC National Championship squad in conjunction with the PBA Junior WSOB. And how about that? The 7 goes late, but it goes for Griffin. He's in our Open Classic division. Yes, the young players, even if they are under the age of 18, have the option to bowl up. All right, we need to wait. We were waiting on that deadwood to get cleared. Should be out of there momentarily. And Brian Burkhart, he's spared. And so we're just waiting. Should be just a pin hook to get rid of that pin. It's in front of the rack, but you just got to not have any deadwood in play. Well, at least it's giving a few other people an opportunity to come down and check out what's going on. Yeah, a few people gathering. There's been multiple requests to clear that pin. I mean, technically, even though the deadwood's out of play, you're not supposed to throw if there's any chance of anything interfering with the pin. It looks like it would be in front of the rack, but we can't take any chance. Hey, how about that? Finally got a pin hook. All right. Let's hear it. Here you see Weston giving his hands up in the air. This gonna be easy now for him. I have no doubt in my mind as he's stepping up looking for number 11. Give him a little chance to focus and people talking to him. And let's see if we can get that one. There we go. Nothing but net for Griffin on that shot. And other than Trey Heinrichsmeyer in our opening edition of the LBC National Championships back in 2023 when Heinrichsmeyer threw a 300 as a youth player that moved up in the Open Championships division, I do not remember another perfect game by a player under 18. Weston Griffin looking to add his name to the record books. There we go. How about that perfection for Weston Griffin here at the PBA LBC National Championships. All right, since Weston did that right in front of the booth, we're going to try to get Weston over here to talk to him. I mean, hey, man, you just got your 15 minutes of fame here at the PBA LBC National Championships. Weston Griffin, perfection. You're getting a mini Duke. I only know of one other youth player that has that, and that's Trey Heinrichsmeyer. I don't know if you know Trey or not, but he took down this Open Classic Division title in our inaugural event. You're at a pretty good pace so far. So what's been the key to the first two games to getting the ball in the pocket and getting all 10 to go? We've seen a lot of players during the LBC able to get the ball in the pocket, just sometimes carries the issue. What are you doing?
Just kind of staying relaxed. Throwing it good. Just having fun. making sure not getting into my head.
Yeah. Yeah, that deadwood there, I know it was a little tough. I didn't think it was going to take that long to get it cleared, but, you know, it's just one of those things where you want to make sure everything's good. You know, you don't want something bouncing or whatever kind of thing. What'd you do for those few seconds there when you had that deadwood? You just had to stay focused. Do anything different? Or I saw your friends were coming over talking. Were they giving you a hard time because you had to wait?
Yeah. Just having fun, pretty much. Goofing around a little bit. Just breathing.
Okay.
Staying focused, really.
How many 300s is that for you?
Sanctioned, I think that'll be either 3 or 4.
Okay. So, and you get something that less than 30 people in the world own. A mini Duke. So how does it feel to get like the coolest award for 300 in bowling?
Amazing. It's like the best thing ever.
It is pretty darn cool. Well, hey, I know we're going to a lot of people are cheering you on in the chat, and we're going to let you get over to your next pair. Keep rolling. Put on a show for everybody. You've done it so far. Appreciate your time. Thanks, Weston.
Thank you.
All right, Weston Griffin taking care of business here through 2 games at the PBA LBC National Championships. Let's check in with our players as we're getting into Game 3. Checking with some of the young ladies here with Autumn, Addison, Jackson, and Robert. A couple of young ladies on that pair on 17 and 18. If you're now a Weston Griffin fan, and I'm sure a few people out there are now, Weston's moving to 9 and 10, so everybody just moved 1 pair to their right after the last game. Since 7 and 8's not in play this round, those players that were on 5 and 6 are going to move to 9 and 10. Everybody else just simply moves a pair to the right. And as you see some of the players, they might be wearing shorts. They might be wearing shirts that might not have their names on them or might have nicknames and stuff on them tonight. Dress code's pretty relaxed for these PBA LBC National Championship squads. So if they want to wear their name shirts, dress pants are more than welcome to, but they can wear shorts. Heck, if they want to wear a T-shirt. Dress code pretty relaxed for these squads, and but a lot of players show up and they want to look their best, bowl their best. And we do see some pretty unique jerseys out on the lanes. And it looks like Weston Griffin's going to be ready to fire it momentarily. So let's see if he can keep the strikes flowing, just coming off that perfect game a couple of minutes ago. All right, should have Weston underway momentarily here. Let's see if we can get a miracle 7-10 conversion for Autumn. Get a bounce. Come on. Oh, it teased. We got a tease, but that was about it. So Weston will be coming in to the right side of your screen momentarily. And they'll be ready to fire underway. We'll stay with the hot hands. We'll check in with Caden Ball as well, as Caden's in at 495 for his first two. Weston Griffin sitting at 533, so we'll have to see if these young players can keep pushing through. Now, these young players cannot bowl in any of the side events that would normally be offered during a PBA LBC National Championship squad. And that would be the optional doubles and the optional 4-player team. The optional doubles uses your first 3 game scores, games 1, 2, and 3 of your 6-game block. And you can bowl with anybody that hasn't bowled yet. So let's say if you want to bowl with EJ Tackett this Saturday, my advice to you is even if you bowl later in the LBC National Championships, go online to the LBC tournament website, pba.com/LBC tournament, and then through the link you can enter in the optional events. That optional event does have to be paid before the first player in an event bowls. So let's say you're bowling July 13th, the last day, but you want EJ Tackett as your doubles partner. Get online, do it through the League Pals link, and you can pay the entry fee, and you can have EJ Tackett bowling as your doubles partner, even though you're bowling on different days, which is exceptional as well. You can bowl with any player that hasn't bowled yet. So if you're looking to bowl with Bill O'Neill is bowling the last day of the event, July 13th. Pay the entry fee, even if you're bowling earlier, and you and Bill O'Neill's can be doubles partners. In the 4-player team event, similar thing, except it uses games 4, 5, and 6, and it has to be paid for that entry in full, $25 per player, before the first player on that 4-player team bowls. So I remember in our inaugural year in 2023, our 4-player team, those members actually bowled on 4 different squads over 3 weekends and still took down that team title. John Van Hees was part of that, along with John Fury, Ryan Schaefer, and I apologize for blanking out on that 4th member, but they all bowled different weekends. So it was pretty neat to see. And you can enter those events before you get here at Bolero Mount Prospect if you're bowling the LBC National Championships. As we said, though, because with youth players, they can't be teamed up with adults and bowl for money and such. These players that are under 18 years of age, even if they're in the Open Classic division like Weston Griffin, they are only eligible to bowl the singles event this evening. And Weston, we got 15 in a row for Weston. Let's make it 16 in a row, Weston. There we go. That kid is on the ball right now. No doubt about it. Maybe he's going to get a second Mini Duke. Why not? A couple players have got bookend Mini Dukes, as we mentioned a little earlier. Chad Moss, who was going for his third this past Saturday, fell just short with a 299 after a light 7-pin. Chad has two, and Trey Heinrichsmeyer, our 2023 Open Classic Division winner, finished his 2023 event with a perfect game and then started 2024 with a perfect game. But we've yet to have a player have 300s back-to-back here in the PBA LBC National Championships. Chad Moss, when he had his two, they rounded out Game 3 and Game 6 of his qualifying block. All right, 16 in a row at a minimum. We don't know how he finished his 233 game. But before Weston fires, let's get over to Caden White, as Caden looking to get his sassy 7th in a row. Rap 10 says not this time. And while we were away, Weston Griffin puts another X on the board. A couple of people down here that were a little more nervous, I think, than Weston was when we had the Deadwood clear. Waiting on that for a bit. Weston Griffin, how about this young man with now 18 in a row? And Mike Sleds, I do not remember another player of any age having 18 in a row here in the PBA LBC National Championships. These young players know how to roll the ball, and you've seen enough of that with the PBA Junior program that you are the man in charge of that great program. How's the World Series of Bowling going for the young players so far?
I think it's going absolutely incredible.
Good.
And thank you for having me. It's and when you sit there and you say that you haven't seen anybody roll 18 in a row, every time I watch these kids bowl, I'm amazed.
Is Weston in the main field for the Junior World Series of Bowling? Do you remember off the top of your head?
I believe he is, yeah.
As we have the graphics department really piling your name on out there. So let's see if he can keep rolling. We've never had back-to-back Mini Dukes awarded, and he is just, I'll tell you what, this 42-foot LBC National Championships pattern, even though it's a 4.5-to-1 ratio, he's making it look like a house pattern right now with the way he's playing it. He's keeping the ball in front of him. He's not using a lot of hook. I think that's a urethane under his belt there. We'll get that verified. He's throwing an IQ Ruby, so that's not urethane. So that's a reactive resin. So as much as some people like to say kids crutch on urethane, he's not doing that right now. He's throwing it well. So.
Yeah, it's amazing. Again, the talent, like I said, every time I come out here, I have to tell a story real quick.
Yeah.
First time we had our PBA Junior National Championship finals, and we're doing our first game of match play, and John Weber is helping me with the tournament. And the very first game of match play, one of the bowlers shoots 279 and loses to a 300.
Oh, wow.
And John Weber is about 6 lanes away from me, and he picks up his phone and he points to it, and he's texting me, and he says, "Where did you find these kids?" I was like, I have no idea.
So, yeah, there's a lot of Weston Griffin fans in the chat right now. They're all rooting for him to get his 20th in a row. How about it, Ball? There we go.
Oh, my gosh.
He could start off with 833. Wow. Unbelievable.
That is pretty incredible.
There was a young man in the under 15 mixed division on the O'Neill pattern that averaged over 250 for the entire event and won it earlier this week.
Well, it was. Are you talking about Christopher?
I can't remember the young man's name. I apologize, but I saw in the press release that was written up that for the O'Neill pattern, the under 12 boys winner averaged over 250 for the event.
Yes, that was Christopher, and he's just, again, an amazing talent. And like even now, I was just doing the Facebook post, and I'm looking at the averages from the U15, and then looking at the averages in the U18, and these guys could be right up there with them.
Yeah.
And it's just, everybody jokes around that the PBA players out there today are looking at the collegiate ranks and looking at these youth bowlers, and they're saying, holy cow, these kids are going to really make us get a run for our money. I think the U15 bowlers are now, the U18 bowlers are looking at the U15 saying the same thing.
Just the incredible amount of progress that these players can make in a short period of time, and it's great coaching, and it's other, these players along with PBA Junior. I think that's one thing that's understated enough is you guys work with a lot of regional tournament series that these players can earn scholarship money with PBA Junior points and such. Will we have the front nine? He fell off if it didn't like it, but he gets him to go.
Oh, my God.
Unbelievable. 21 in a row. This is the nights I love having the booth feed because you get to make the call on something great that's happening, and we've seen it before in the past. We saw it with Trey Heinrichsmeyer, who's a former PBA Junior event champion, and it made the national TV as well.
Yeah, he happened to stop by yesterday, was driving home from Michigan, and decided to pop in and literally stopped in, said hi, and I got to go.
Yeah.
But it was great for him to do that.
Yeah, that's one thing you see a lot of camaraderie between these young players, even after they graduate out of PBA Junior, because Gianna Brandolino, last year's PBA LBC National Championships class, did what some of these young ladies are doing here, bowled as a youth player but upgraded into the women's classic division, paid the difference in entry fee. She finished in second. That was an advancing spot into the clash, and then she took down Chris Prather on that final shot for $60,000.
Yeah. It was awesome.
So,
yeah, that camaraderie thing is something that, both of my boys have been involved with sports. I've been involved with sports all my life, coaching, everything like that. And I always tell the PBA Junior parents and bowlers parents that the bowling parents in the bowling community is the greatest of all. Right. I mean, I've been involved in all other kinds of sports, and just the way these kids bond together. I mean, there's parents. We've got kids from 28 different states here for the PBA Junior World Series of Bowling, and some of the kids are traveling with other kids as one parent is being the chaperone.
Okay.
And then next week they're heading to the SYC and another parent's being the chaperone. And it's a great community, and the kids all love each other. They cheer each other on. It's really good to be around. Keeps me young.
Here we go. Weston Griffin, front nine, looking for 22 in a row. And he gets it to go again. What could stop this young man other than a power outage or his bowling ball starting on fire?
I don't know who oiled the lanes.
He is making this PBA LBC National Championship shot look relatively easy, and it's not an easy pattern. We just had Justin Knowles in here this last weekend who barely averaged for a PBA Pro 225 on this pattern. And here's Weston. He's already got 800 in the bag for his first three. Looking for 11 in a row this game, 23 in a row overall. God. This could be a first in PBA LBC National Championships history, happening on a special squad with a lot of PBA Junior players. You saw Weston shake his head right now like he's in disbelief for himself. This could be our first back-to-back mini Dukes in history, Mike. What a part of history to be a part of at the moment. And there is there are pairs around him that have stopped bowling to watch. This is incredible. Come on, let's give them bookend mini Dukes. Yes!
Oh, my God.
Back-to-back 300s.
Holy cow.
For Weston Griffin, and he still has 3 games to go to put up a total here. So, just incredible. back-to-back. We talked to him after game 1 or after game 2 when he shot his 300. And, I mean, just look at the fans are all swarming around him. His friends are all swarming around him.
That is wild.
It's just incredible. I know it was more in disbelief. All the other bowlers are Weston himself. Just took a big sigh of relief there.
And I just did check the roster. He is one of the U18 bowlers in the PBA Junior World Series of Bowling.
He is, okay.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing.
How about that, Mike? back to back 300s. History made here at the PBA LBC National Championships tonight. You had a front row seat for it.
And we're not done.
No.
We're not done.
No, we're gonna stick with,
follow this kid. Where's he going?
We're gonna
what
stick
lane's
with
he on?
Weston. So right now, Weston's going to move into lanes 15 and 16. For those of you that are actually double tabbing, they're going back and forth, watching your favorite player on another tab and keeping the main feed on here on the PBA YouTube channel. Players are going to move 2 pairs and land on the 3rd. So you're going to see Weston go from 9 and 10 here. He's going to go down to 15 and 16. So all other players skipping 2 pairs, landing on the 3rd. And wow, just incredible finish. There were a couple other players with hot starts as well earlier. We mentioned Caden Ball. We didn't get a chance to see much of Caden that game, but he had a rough start. He had a pocket 710 in the 3rd, a couple other errors. So Caden, who was almost 100 over after 2, falls back to plus 94 after a 181 game. But these young players are really setting the world on fire for a moment. So, Mike, we're going to take a quick audio intermission. Can you stick around for beginning of Game 4?
I'm not going anywhere.
All right. So, Mike will be back beginning of Game 4. I'll be back with you, too. I'm $2 Phil Bradlow. If you do have questions about the PBA LBC National Championships or especially about that PBA Junior program, make sure you drop them in the chat, and we will ask those of Mike when we come back momentarily. All right, and we're back. Game 4 going to be rolling shortly. We're going to have that hot hand in the house ready for you. And here he comes. Weston Griffin, back-to-back 300s. Oh, he gets the 4 to go from behind. Yes, baby. How about that? Now, unfortunately, and I'm hoping he throws it. I mean, let's face it, everybody in the building's hoping he throws another one. It would not be an official 900 series because it would be games 2, 3, and 4 of a 6-game set. It would have to be either games 1, 2, 3 or games 4, 5, 6. But I'll tell you what, anybody that's looking at that leaderboard for the Open Championship Division for the LBC, we may have a big number set. Hey, Mark Blaha, I know you usually watch these things. Last year's champion, he was watching every squad towards the end of the tournament when he took down the Open Classic Division title with a total in the 1,500s. And at the rate that Weston's going here, it might take 1,600 to take home that Open Classic Division title. Let's just watch him, and he's keeping it simple. Out in front of him, mixing it up. And from what we were just told by Rogue Foppy out on the lanes, who's handling the great camera work you're seeing when we cut to the second camera tonight, she talked to Weston between games again. He found out that the IQ Ruby was being retired by Storm Bowling, loved the ball, and so got his pro shop operator to get him one more of those balls. And it's the one he just drilled right before coming into the PBA Junior World Series of Bowling. So it's definitely become his favorite bowling ball of all time, I'm sure, after going back-to-back 300s here.
That's crazy.
Have you ever seen a back-to-back 300 in an LBC event, Mike Sleds?
No, this is year 3, and I mean, it's unusual that we've had people that have had duplicates,
right?
Yet alone back-to-back.
Yeah, Chad Moss has 2. He almost had a third this past Saturday, and Trey Heinrichsmeyer ended 2023 with 1, started 2024 with the 300.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the first back-to-back, and hey, let's give him 3. Let's let him be the first to 3.
Yeah.
Be cheering him on.
Starting out with a double in this game.
So these kids aren't going to have a lot of time to rest tonight, Mr. Sleds, because they get to start bright and early tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Lights on. Here we go.
Yeah,
oh, my goodness.
Yeah. They've all been pretty much no doubters other than the trip 4 to start this game. I mean, the 3 he threw in the 10th to go back-to-back were just flush, flush, and flush.
And he doesn't even seem to be fazed by this. I mean, he just walks up, throws the ball, walks away.
Well, he's talking to his buddies behind, and that's having a good group of friends to bowl with. I don't know if they requested the bowl together with the 3 players we see on this pair, but they all seem to be getting along quite well. So. And, you know, having that, we saw him get mobbed by pretty much everybody on the squad when he got the second 300 of the books. And I remember years ago being there the night Tony Roventini shot a 900 series in Milwaukee at Classic Lanes Greenfield. And by the time it got to like the 6th, 7th frame, the entire bowling center was stopping.
Dead, yeah.
I mean, if he gets the front 6 or 7 this time around, I mean,
squad's going late.
Yeah, that's fine. I got no problem. I got myself a room for the night.
Look at this.
Dead flush.
Just turns around. Hey, I'll pick up my towel, put it on the ball, return, walk away.
Connor Pula, your 1457 you put up the opening Saturday of this event. Something tells me it's going to be in second place when we're done with this particular squad. So, yeah, Jim.
And to be honest with you, we haven't really been looking at some of the other scores that closely. Who knows? I mean, somebody else might be taking another lead.
Trying to take a look at the scores in front of us. Looks like we got a couple of players. Well, we got Kylie Sim, who's awesome in her little pink fluffy skirt here. She's at 733 with her handicap.
And Josh Weems has the first 8.
Oh, well, good catch on that. They're bowling so fast. They only have 3 on that pair, and Josh Weems and Kai Struthers don't normally take a lot of time anyway on the approach. They know what they want to do, and they fire. So we'll get over to Josh when he steps up. Doesn't look like any of them are in the 700 range after 3. So
here comes Weston.
Smooth out of the hand again, and get a roll on that 8-pin. Nope, not going to happen. So 28 in a row.
God.
for Weston Griffin.
That's crazy.
So let's get over to Josh Weems. Here you see Josh stepping up in the ninth.
The
And
10th.
rocket, socket, and it doesn't fall for Josh. And that's a young player that's dealt with a lot of things in life over the last couple of years, unfortunately, with his father passing away. And I know a lot of people with the Elite Youth Tour down here know Josh and his family. His dad was a big supporter of EYT as well.
Yep.
I think they have a scholarship named after Dr. Weems as well now, don't they?
Yes,
For
they
the
do.
EYT, so
Yeah.
So great loss to the bowling community here in Northern Illinois with the passing of Dr. Weems.
Yeah. I first met Jerry, I think it was in North Carolina. We had a PBA Junior event, and then we had one coming up a couple weeks later in Arizona, and he was there with Josh then. And then he was at one in Chicago. I'm like, are you going to every one of these? I was like, but he was just a fantastic human being. It was just, yeah, it was great to be able to know him for the short time I did.
Yeah. I mean, there are some families that make as many of the PBA Junior events within a certain area as they can. And the best part about it is even if families can't travel far, they have a couple of opportunities every year in their region, whether it's a PBA West or Northwest or Southwest. You know, the regions for PBA Junior correspond to the PBA regional program regions.
Correct.
And so with a couple of events a year, they can still get there and try against some of the best youth competition in the country.
Yes. And one of the other things that we've done, too, is when we were growing the PBA Junior program, one of the things we found out is there are so many different youth tournament programs across the country. It was difficult to schedule something and find a weekend when there wasn't something conflicting with it in the area. So we went back to the think tank, and one of the things I suggested is, like, instead of trying to compete against these other tournaments, why don't we join up with them? And that's where we started the PBA Junior affiliate program. Because, again, we'll get requests from people in, North Dakota, why don't you bring a PBA Junior event here? And we can only do so many a year.
Yeah.
But we partner with a local tournament there, so kids that are PBA Junior members can earn points.
Yep.
And we funneled some of the scholarship money that we normally would use for our PBA Junior events into the Jim Welch Memorial Scholarship, which is based on the points that you earn in an affiliate program. So, yeah, you're 100% right. Kids can participate and earn these points no matter where they're at.
Well, Weston got back on it after that bad break, and he got a little amped on the speed again, and he's going to look at back-to-back opens on that left lane. So I think somebody may have got there with a little urethane before him or something, but he started with a couple of strikes on that lane. Maybe he just needs to bring it down a notch. It's tough to do when you're on 28 in a row. Tough to bring it down a notch. He'll give this a shot. Switches to another ball for the. Oh! If it hits it and goes down, it counts. Just misses it.
Oh, wow.
But still can get to 232 if he can strike out. That 14.59 at Connor Pula in the Open Classic division definitely in doubt right now. Yeah, there's so many great events that if you can't make a PBA Junior regional area, you can still take part in that great Jim Welch Memorial Scholarship Program. I know a tournament I do a lot with in the Milwaukee area with the Junior Hall of Fame tournament that's held at Bolero Wauwatosa every year. That's a PBA Junior affiliated event as well. So young players that bowl in that event have a chance to earn points towards the Jim Welch Memorial Scholarships. So,
yeah, we have 45 different tournament organizations that we partner with across the country. And always looking for more. So if anybody out there is listening and they run tournaments, they want to take advantage of it, all they got to do is reach out, and we'll be happy to partner with them and do that. So
yeah, and that's one thing that is working so much more and more in the bowling community that groups like these youth tours are learning is there's no such thing as competition if you want everybody to participate. You got to make it where choices are available. Sure, sometimes they overlap, that type of thing, but you make it where, hey, I can't make it to this PBA Junior event this weekend. It's too far, but there's a PBA Junior affiliate event an hour from my house. Let me bowl that. Let me get a chance to do that. Yeah. So, it's great to see all these organizations working together instead of trying to beat each other over the head going, oh, we need more bowlers and we need that. No, actually, you just need to make it so the youth players have something to bowl that they can choose to bowl. And
and that's
we
that's
can
one of
take
the
it
things
from
that we look at when we're putting the schedule together. So, for example, the PBA Junior, the World Series of Bowling this week, I mean, we intentionally shortened up the schedule because we knew the SYCs were starting up in Delaware this weekend. And we knew the PBA Junior, or Team USA Junior camp was next week.
Okay.
So we work around those things, and same thing with SYC, Deandra's Elite Youth Tour. Any of our affiliates, when we put the schedule together, I like to get their schedule ahead of time to make sure that we're not bumping up against them. And But
Oh, we got Weston finally figuring out that left lane, so he's got a chance to be in the 230s again. Boy, he could be 165 over.
What did he have the first game?
Or 265, 233.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so you could be 265 over after 4 games. Connor Pooler was 259 over after 6 games. So, yeah, Connor, it's not looking good for you if you're watching from at home right now. And we've got a front bunch. Let's get over to 11 and 12 as Quinn Tillman. Well, and we just gave him the booth flex. That's the 4th time I've done that tonight. Switched to a player on the front 5 or 6 and
give him a 5 count.
That happen. Well, I didn't give him a 5 count. I gave a couple of 10. We gave a 10 pin to Jazz Weems a little while ago. That type of thing. But we'll come back here and see what Weston can do here to take down that possible 232 game. Yeah, he kind of reminds me of Chris Prather with the look on the jersey. I was just going to say that
in the jersey, yeah.
And the bit on the follow-through, the glasses, obviously.
Yep.
All he's got to do is get the Superman flip on the hair in front, and he could be a younger brother of Chris Prather. Haven't seen Chris's scheduled date yet for the LBC National Championships. I know he'll probably bowl. Obviously, last year finishing in 2nd place.
Yep.
He wants a little revenge. Not going to happen with Gianna this year, though, as Gianna's total is not going to most likely make it to the PBA LBC National Championships clash when that occurs. Date, time, and location to be announced in the next few weeks. But there's some good pros coming up this weekend. If you're looking to watch on the PBA YouTube channel, as we have A.J. Chapman, Zach Wilkins, and E.J. Tackett all bowling at 2 p.m. on Saturday. And we'll have A.J. Chapman actually in the booth for the 9 a.m. squad Saturday morning. And then for the 2 p.m. squad, while those 3 are bowling, Tim Foy Jr. is going to be in the booth.
Nice.
And Tim will be bowling on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. So, you never know who those lucky people are going to be that are going to have a chance to bowl with a PBA elite player like E.J. Tackett or Tim Foy. Last weekend, a couple that I knew out of Wausau, Wisconsin was on the same pair with Justin Knowles. And Justin made sure to thank him in his interview after the squad was done because he goes, we had a good pair. Nobody got down on themselves. We were all rooting each other on. Yep. And it was a pretty good thing to see where you're bowling with the pro. You're not bowling against them, which is the even better part.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. And that's the one great thing about the sport, too, is the fact that, our players are so approachable. When you think of other major sports and things like that, when the NFL players come off the field, some of the newer stadiums, they got those tunnels that walk and the fans are separated by glass.
Yeah.
But here, they're moving in the middle of a tournament. They got to walk past you on the concourse, and they're just so approachable, and they're used to having that interaction with the fans while they're competing, and and it's good to see the educated fans too, knowing that while they're out there, let's ask them for the autograph when we're done. Let's ask them for the picture when they're done, but they're rubbing shoulders with them, and then when they're done, they're just normal human beings. We're going to talk to you and everything like that. So.
I'll tell you what, this is fun to watch. 3 members of the Sim family. I know Mel Sim's bowling in the U18 boys this time around. He was a winner last year in the U15 boys at the Parker Bone Scholarship Tournament. I streamed with Parker and the family out there. And, and then you've got Christopher, who loves the bowl, loves every chance he gets. I guarantee if I could throw it, if he could wear a headset right now, he'd probably wear it. Loves to talk about bowling for an 11-year-old. And now Kylie with that great pink skirt, fluffy ruffled skirt, who comes in averaging 49. And she's shooting lights out. And she could have a chance, honestly, to take over the – oh, that one got away from her.
There you go. Boothed them again.
Bo Burton them. Actually, Randy Peterson them, let's be honest. So, but young players, anybody can bowl. It doesn't matter if you're 8 or you're 88. It doesn't matter if your average is 8, 188, or 218 or 248.
Yep.
There is a division in this PBA LBC National Championships for everyone, and you can bowl as a family. So, as you see here with the Sims, we've had pairs of lanes during our weekend squads where I've seen a grandfather, a father, and a son all in the same pair. I wish I could hook it like that back in the day. My goodness.
And I like the two-handed approach. She's definitely getting ready for that two-handed delivery.
So,
yeah, but you're right. You talk about families. That's the other thing that's great. I mentioned the family camaraderie with like PBA Junior and the bowling community, but the whole sport of bowling is just a rite of passage within your family. You bowl because your mom and dad bowled, and because their mom and dad bowled, and families bowling tournaments together, bowling league together.
And hold on one second here. I think they're just starting game 4 on this pair. Yeah, they are just starting game 4 on 3 and 4. And Clark Bonowell, who I know is in the Open Classic division, he's at 770 for his first 3. So that's a player that could still be giving Weston Griffin a run for his money. So, and I'm going to brag about 3 and 4 because, well, thanks to the PBA LBC National Championships, they supported the Bruce City Bowling Show in Milwaukee and other things we've done with PBA live streaming for Tennedeck Productions, and they provided some entries to us to pass along to some youth players from Wisconsin and Illinois that may not have normally had the opportunity to bowl this event. And the 4 players you see on 3 and 4 right now.
Are those yours?
Those are the ones we gave the entry.
Awesome.
Yeah, we had over 80 young players enter the drawing that I offered on social media, and those are our 4 players that won the drawing. And wow, Clark Bonowell's throwing it really, really nice right now.
That's awesome.
He said 770 for his first 3. He's given Weston Griffin a run for his money. Yeah, that is game 4-6 up there. So I don't know why they're a little behind, but hey, glad to watch for a bit because we'll have to wait for Weston to start game 5, and Weston is moving to 17 and 18, so he's just moving right next door. He'll make a big move the last game up to 27 and 28, but he'll be on 17 and 18. So when he starts that game 5, we'll join Weston again, and we'll keep up with Clark. That seems to be the 2 hot scorers I see in front of us.
Yeah, when we did the lane assignments, we intentionally put them down here so they'd hit here in front of you. So.
Well, I'm glad. 5 and 6 has been a hot pair. They've been taking care of business, and I've been informed that we have a hot hand over on 23 and 24. And there you go.
Drew Parker.
On the front 8. Tell you what, Rogue Foppy, she's hustling out there, making sure we get all these superstars to you.
Drew's another PBA Junior bowler.
And he gets the bowl with a beanie on during the LBC because normally in regular competition that wouldn't be allowed in PBA Junior competition. Oh, no, that's not Drew with the beanie on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's Dylan.
That's Dylan. But normally that would not be allowed, but it's a little more relaxed dress code for the LBC with these youth players.
Here goes Drew.
Oh, I see Andrew in the jersey. That's what messed me up. I'm blaming that one on Rogue, not you and I. So.
She can't hear us right now, can she?
No, she cannot. But let's see, Drew's 640, so he's going to get himself more than 100 over on the squad. So, these young players, especially the opportunity to bump up and bowl in the Open Classic division for actually for any player. If a young lady decides she wanted to bowl Open Classic for $25,000, she'd have the option to do it. But a lot of the young ladies we have on the squad today bowling in the Women's Classic division, $5,000 guaranteed on top for that with that scratch payoff. But even for the boys handicap and girls handicap divisions, $2,500 in smart money guaranteed, first place.
Yep.
So I remember my buddy Jackson last year. Jackson Pfeiffer came in towards the end of the tournament, 75 average, shot almost a 150 the last game, and made the nut and got snuck into the last cash spot for the boys junior handicap division.
That's
He
great.
had never won more than $50 in scholarship money in his young career. He's barely 10 years old, and and he took down $500 in scholarship money for his finish. And he was on the same pair with Stu Williams that day.
Oh my gosh!
And what a story to be able to tell. Like, I got the bull with a PBA pro on my pair. And then Stu the next day couldn't do anything but rave about it. He goes, I saw the kid warming up. He was throwing it with two hands, and every shot was going 40 feet down the lane and going immediately into the left gutter. He goes, I didn't think this kid was going to get a pin. And he kept getting better. And he finished a 140. He goes, it was really fun to watch and be on the pair with him. So that's, when these PBA elite pros are out here, they're trying to win their division, but they know the shot's a little softer. They get a little time to take the focus down a bit between shots and that type of thing. And I've seen it with all the elite pros that we've had so far. There's only been a few to this point, I should say, but they've all had a good time with the bowlers that they've been on. And I can't wait till Saturday. I can't wait till that 2 p.m. squad.
To see those three.
When 9 players are going to walk in, all of a sudden realize, wow, there's a PBA elite player on my pair. There's an A.J. Chapman or an E.J. Tackett. Going to be fun to see.
And that's the other great thing about pro-ams as well, too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because it is just such a relaxed atmosphere and everything like that. And, you just, again, because they're so approachable, they're sitting there bowling with you, messing around with you, having a good time. And, yeah, it's a great experience. So, if anybody's got a pro-am that they can participate in near, got a couple of PBA 50 stops coming up in the area.
Yeah. South Shore Bowl.
Yep.
Or, pardon me.
Hammond.
Hammond. South Shore Open is the tournament. Yep. Olympia Lane's in Hammond. Yeah. And you got to check on that one because that one sold. They have 3 Pro-Am squads, and usually the last 2 sell out.
Yeah.
So you usually are, if you got a young player, hey, 1 o'clock on a Monday afternoon is not a bad time to bowl for a youth player. So check that one out. I know next weekend after the PBA 50 special squads here Friday, June 27th, 1 p.m. local time, 2 p.m. Eastern. A lot of those players will end up over at Beverly Bowl.
Yep.
They're doing a PBA 50-60 regional
doubles
event.
Ike's place. Yep.
So that'll be a fun pro-am as well. And anywhere you get a chance to bowl a pro-am, the pros, most of them go out of their way. I'm not going to say all of them, but most of them go out of their way to make sure that you have a good time when they're on your pair.
Yep.
So.
And I will give a plug out to Olympia Lanes in Hammond, Mike Cozy, general manager, Nick, the owner. I went to college with Mike Cozy.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Oh, man, yeah. Unfortunately for Mike, lost his wife a few years back during the middle of the run and felt, he was trying to do what he can at a tough time. But, yeah, even if last year I walked in there, I hadn't seen Mike in 4 years. And, hey, $2, what's going on?
$2.
It's just like, it's a beautiful thing. Well, Clark's running into some issues here on 3 and 4 with single pins. Couple 10s and now a solid 9. There's a break for Ariana DeSanto. She's coming in at 169 in the girls handicap division. Not sure where she's going to bowl in college. I believe she's a graduated senior from Kenosha-Tremper High School.
There he goes. No spare.
And we're not quite underway. We're underway. Check in on Weston. He's on 17-18. He's your upper right scoreboard. So, wow, the guy doesn't know how to make a spare. All he does is strike 28 times in a row and then, alternate strikes and a couple of opens here and there. I want to ask him when he's done. How many spares does he have? He had one last game to stay at 211, but 244 over.
Wow.
That's almost that's Graham Fa-ish type numbers from his performance last year. It just goes to show you, even though you may have a good year one year at the LBC National Championships, Graham Fa didn't touch 1,400.
Messenger takes out the 10
for his 6 games a couple of weekends ago. So more than 200 pins lower score wise for Graham from year to year. So we've got some PBA Junior events coming up. And, of course, the best way to check in on this is go to PBA.com. And let me get this up on my screen here momentarily. I'm going to do some behind-the-scenes magic. Hopefully my internet machine works well here in just a moment. Hey, how about that? Asking everything works once in a while.
Why not?
So if you go to PBA.com, let me make sure the audio is shut off. I don't want anybody getting feedback at home. That would be bad. Go to PBA.com. As you'll see, well, we'll wait. Well, let's wait for Weston to throw here. I don't want to throw any bad juju at him. Turn away on a shot, and all of a sudden he gets a bad break. We've been pretty good luck for him when we've had the camera on him tonight. Oh,
That's 2 in a row.
Yeah, look at that.
2 in a row with that messenger coming across the back, taking out that 10 pin.
Slaps it out, right, gives the 10 pin the business. How about that? That's beautiful. So you go to PBA.com, and you'll see across the top here is a drop-down menu. You get a couple tabs in where it says PBA Tour. You drop it down, and you click on PBA Junior. And there you go, the beautiful PBA Junior. You got the whole tournament schedule page. If you want to see who the PBA Junior ambassadors are, there's quite a few of them bowling this event. Even the PBA Junior military schedule as well. All the points trackers you can see, especially with the Jim Welch Memorial Scholarship and points info. And then you can see all the events that have been held already this year. We're in the middle of the screen right there with the PBA Junior World Series of Bowling. And coming up in August, West, Southwest, South, Midwest all have events coming up in August and September. So check it out, PBA.com. Use that drop-down menu and get all your PBA Junior information, your rules, how to join, because it's beneficial to be a PBA Junior member in more ways than one. It's not just to get reduced entry fees on PBA Junior tournaments. There's discounts for other manufacturers as well.
Right. Yes, and you get the $50 entry fee discount, which typically when we get the entries, I send out an email prior to the tournament, and I will send out a separate email to those that aren't PBA Junior members, because for $50 they can get a basic membership, save, and then they can collect the points.
Right.
And again, if they're participating in other events, collect those points at other events as well. But so there's definitely some benefits to membership, and even if they're bowling in a couple. And then the premium membership was really a good deal, because if you pay the $100, or in the case of if you enter a tournament and you get a discounted price, it's only $50 more, you get the jersey and you get everything else. Plus, one of the good selling points for that premium membership is you get the $2 practice rate at practice centers across the country for PBA Junior, for PBA practice centers. So, that's a great deal. So
yeah, especially for mom and dad who are usually footing the bill for those practice sessions. And yeah, there's some young players that might have, are in at a particular center or whatever, but it's always good to get variety when you practice, because every bowling center is different, so why not practice in different bowling centers as well?
Yep. And one of the things that I think a lot of people don't realize, and it's sort of, the PBA brand is so strong and it does so well, and to be able to promote PBA Juniors is ideal underneath that brand. But a lot of times parents will ask me and say, oh, my kid's not good enough. They don't average high enough. We don't have an average requirement, so anybody can join. So, especially if you're, participating in those lower average or lower age groups, and you're just trying to get better, again, take advantage of that $2 rate. Get out there, practice, get your own jersey, start hitting some of these tournaments, and so it's a good deal.
It helps build your way up to become a more successful youth player.
Correct. Yeah.
So, which is a great thing. For bowling, it's not like it was when we were growing up, where maybe we had a 2-ball bag that we were carrying around and learning the practice and stuff like that. You can't be a competitive bowler without, coming to tournaments. I guarantee you most of these kids brought 9, if not 12 bowling balls to this event.
Yeah, try and walk around here during the day when all 100 of them are in the building.
I tried to set up my my booth here a little earlier, and I was kicking balls out in the walkway and stuff like that. But, bowling's not the inexpensive sport it used to be 40, 50 years ago to be good. But to be good, you also need to practice. Doesn't matter how many bowling balls you have. How about that? Slap the 9 down. He just left a vicious ring 10 on the shot before that.
Ugh.
But he's still looking to put up another game. He can get in the 240s once again. And, he's definitely going to be approaching that magic 1,500 number. I need to double check what Mark Blaha's winning score last year was in the Open Classic division. $15.23 was the winning score by Mark Blaha. Boog Kroll, the only other bowler to break the 1,500 number in the Open Classic division. But Liz Johnson said, "Hold my diet soda," as Liz put up 15-12 in the Women's Classic division. And there's a...
Blake's got the first 6 on 15-16.
So we'll stay here. Watch what Blake can do. Looking for the subtle 7th in a row. And
that one's on me. Oh, too funny.
It's just amazing watching the young talent on here. And I know I apologize to our YouTube people that have been leaving things in the chat. Jay's been pretty active. But yeah, apologize for not checking in on the chat. I know a lot of people are rooting Weston on tonight. Clark Bonnewell, he's having some struggles here in Game 4, so he's falling back. He had 770 for his first 3, but he's going to get to 2-teen if he strikes out 8, 9, and 10. So some problems there. But yeah, 244 over for 4 for Weston, and looking to build on it in the 10th frame. Trying to peek around if we got. I think we had a chance for a big game. Somebody said Evan Flath. Did he finish? Oh, he finished already. He finished at 267. So, yeah, Evan threw 4, 978, it looks like. Yeah, 978. So he's averaging close to 250. So that's one we'll have to keep an eye on. But let's get back to Weston first, as he's looking to pile on, get to 245 here in Game 5. Set up the interview booth in the tournament office by the Duke. Something tells me we'll be talking to one Weston Griffin as soon as this squad's in. And how is he going to bring the momentum down to relax when he gets back to the hotel room? Because he has day 3, and he's still kind of in shooting distance for the overall World Series of Bowling advancing after 18 games. He's probably in, around 20th position. They're taking 12 after the 18 games of qualifying.
Taking 12, yeah.
So if he has a solid day tomorrow on the tacket pattern, which is a little longer than this 42-foot pattern, but could play kind of similar, Weston can find himself making that World Championship match play round. Starting tomorrow. No, that starts Thursday, doesn't it?
It actually starts tomorrow night.
That's right, because of the scheduling. 9 a.m. we'll have qualifying for all players, 6 games on the tacket, then the top 8 in each division advance. They come back pretty quick for match play, and then in the evening, right around when we started tonight, most likely, we started at 7 p.m., so I'm assuming 7 p.m. or sometime tomorrow they'll start the round robin. It's round robin match play for the World Championship, isn't it?
Correct.
For step ladder.
Yep.
So yeah, if you're
12 games, 11 games, and then position round.
And the 18 games of pinfall carry over from qualifying too for the match play?
Yes.
Okay, so it's just like the PBA World Championship where you get all the pins that stack over all those games, and obviously we can't have a 3-time in a row winner like on the regular tour with EJ Tackett, but I mean, what a title to take home with you if you're an inaugural PBA Junior World Champion. Well, coming out of here this week.
Christopher Wagner started off good. U15 mixed. Won yesterday, won today.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I asked him earlier, are you on a mission? Like, yes, and walked away.
So, 289 over. 289 over right now for Weston. And let's check back in on Evan, because Evan's sitting at 978 for his, so 178 over for his first 4 over on 29 and 30. For those of you that want to keep following Weston Griffin, he's moving to 27 and 28. So guess what? He's got to wait a while now because these players are just starting. They're in their 4th frame of Game 5. And with some of these pairs only having 3 on a pair, some having 4. We'll see if the players here know what's coming up behind them. And it looks like they're trying to pick the pace up a little bit on 27 and 8, which is nice. I mean, if you're not having the best night, pick up the pace a bit. Let a player who's successful get in. You see it all the time on TV when a bowler's going for 300 and the match is no longer in doubt. You see pros just get up there and, hey, I'm going to throw my 9th, throw my 10th, and get out of the way. So the other player can get up there and throw their 10th frame if they've got the hammer on that particular shot. Evan doesn't get the 7 to carry on that ball. So how many PBA Junior members are there currently?
We are at right around 1,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's like I said, the unique thing about it, it's a difficult membership to grow because the kids age out. Right. So, but it definitely has been growing. It's a slow pace, but it's growth. And again, it's becoming very popular. Like the World Series of Bowling, I was telling some of the parents I had a lot of anxiety coming into the start of this week because I didn't know how it was going to play out. I know it was a totally different format we were going to throw at the kids first time we were doing it. A lot of bowling in 4 days, but it's been phenomenal. We sold the event out. We have I had almost 35 kids on the waiting list.
Wow.
So I've already begun thinking about next year and how we're going to pull this off. And again, scheduling is part of the issue because we're wedged between Teen Masters and this and SYCs and everything like that. But it's definitely going to happen again next year. The where and the when is the piece to figure out now. Is
the goal to be kind of centrally located then in the country for this, or could
yes,
make a move?
We purposely wanted to have it this year in connection with the LBC event because we want, like the LBC event with the Peterson nearby, we want to make it like a destination kind of stop. Hey, you can go do a couple events and things like that. Just when you go to the Open Championships, you bowl the BJ, you bowl everything else, right? Yeah. So that was the intent, was we wanted to sort of tie these two together. So again, depends where the LBC is going to be next year and, what we'll do with this. But it's definitely a good event. I'm talking to a lot of parents and the kids and a lot of positive feedback. So, this is a keeper.
I mean, a sellout with a waiting list of 30. I mean, that's 125 kids that had interest. And it wasn't announced till like March, was it?
No.
Yeah, I mean, that's just incredible what the PBA Junior program and you and everybody that helps you out with it, parents and volunteers. I'm sure you get a few volunteers at some of the events to help out, like the centers provide, and just to make everything better for the youth players out there. It's a great thing to have rolling.
Yeah, and you brought up the schedule before. We had 4 weeks in a row where we had a PBA Junior event, and then now we're sort of tying up the end of the summer or middle of summer with the World Series, and then we take a break for Junior Gold and everything, and then start back up in August. But we'll go hot and heavy again in the fall. We've got a lot of events coming up, so if kids are interested, make sure to check out the schedule page and get up there and get signed up. So,
and even if you as Mike mentioned, let's say you're a young player like Kylie Sim, who we saw with the pink skirt a little early. Actually, let's check Kylie right now. She's going to make the baby split, getting a little coaching from Dad. How to approach it. She's got the sleeper, too, so you got to get that 8-pin out of there.
Watch her reaction after she makes or misses this. Stomps the foot. I noticed that before. After she missed a spare, she stomped the foot. So she's definitely got some bowler in her.
The whole family, absolutely. But even if it's a young player like Kylie, a 49 average coming in, she can be a PBA Junior member. She can get that $2 practice at all the PBA centers that are out there. And she can work on getting better while having the aspiration of getting to a PBA Junior regional event.
Yep.
So it's a great thing. It's not a be-all, end-all having to have that membership. It can help the young player grow and get that practice in and get better and come to it. Even if they just come to events, I'm sure Kylie's absorbing some of these things, watching other players like a sponge a little bit.
Yep.
Not just watching her brother's bowl, but watching some of the young ladies bowl as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is like I'm always trying to think of what's the next step and what's the next step we can do. And like for example, when we first started PBA Junior with the tournaments, we were getting people asking us, well, you got U18 girls, U18 boys, and U15 mixed. Why don't you have a U15 girls too? And we sort of had looked at other tournament programs just to see, and the entries were always smaller, and we didn't want to have a division with 4 entries or whatever.
Right.
But now seeing how we've evolved and U15 mixed is pretty much turned into the U15 boys.
Yeah.
I'm really seriously thinking about doing a U15 girls next year because I honestly think you've seen the talent of the boys. I don't. Why would the girls want to even try that?
Right.
And when you talk about somebody like Kylie too, one of the things I've been toying around with is because again, we always want to invest in the youth. If we want to grow the sport, we have to invest in the youth. These are the future PBA players. You saw a post probably this week how we talked about Spencer Robarge, one of our PBA Junior Finals champions,
absolutely.
finally become a PBA member. So we went the full circuit, right? So, these players like Kylie, we want them to develop and take an interest in the sport and things like that. So I've even toyed around with creating like a developmental tournament where we run it side, like a conjunction with a PBA Junior event where they bowl on maybe 1 or 2 of the patterns.
Yeah.
It's not a 2-day event, but just a 1-day shot just for kids that are 130 average,
Right.
140 average, and give them a chance to participate in it.
And one thing that a lot of, and I hate to warn parents of this, and unfortunately I think we're going to see this happening a lot more and a lot quicker than a lot of us are expecting. It happened with Weber International's women's team. It happened with Stephen F. Austin's NCAA championship team from prior years. You're going to start seeing a lot of college programs that players were counting on to bowl maybe not being there, not as many programs in the near future. So to develop these players so they can go to the college bowling programs that are out there and possibly get those extra scholarships, that type of thing. Now, PBA Junior is a great way to get there because they're going to see the same kids in competition that they are going to when they reach college. I mean, I don't want to cry wolf or anything, but it's not just going to be 2 programs ending after, this year. They're going to start piling on because at colleges and universities, what are they focusing on? The revenue sports, and the things they're getting tossed to the side are the smaller sports like bowling. And then, okay, what do you do? Not everybody is going to be an Eric Jones or a Dio Bernard that have come out of PBA Junior and go right to the Pro Tour.
Yep.
Keep developing that type of thing, and this is a great way to do it where, hey, I'm going to college. Great. Hey, I'm not going to college. I'm going to give it a shot on the tour, and I've gotten good enough thanks to PBA Junior and a few other programs like an Eric Jones, who's a PBA Tour champion now at 19 years of age, or a Dio Bernard, who's come really darn close as well. You can take either route out of PBA Junior, which I think is a great thing because coming out of college, watching some of these college kids hit the tour right away, it takes them some time. It seems like some of these PBA Junior kids like Dio and Eric have had a little easier time adjusting to the tour life.
Yep.
From these PBA Junior events because conditions are a bit similar to, you're not going to see the Tackett or the McEwen or the O'Neill on the PBA Tour, but you'll see patterns very similar to that.
Yep.
On the PBA events.
And another point to mention too is it's discerning to see some of the collegiate programs going by the wayside, especially popular ones.
Yeah.
But let's not forget there are over 200 colleges across the country that offer bowling scholarships and have bowling programs. So, the parents out there that are thinking, my son even, he played collegiate football, D3 college football, but when he found out about some of the players that bowled and got scholarships, he's like, if I'd have known that, because he only lasted 1 year with his scholarship, he's like, if I'd have known that, I would have bowled. I was like, there you go.
Yeah, and there's enough, I mean, UW Whitewater, the men's team, is a club program.
Yep.
The reigning national champions for the second time in 5 years is a club program, mostly funded by the bowlers themselves. They do fundraising and that type of thing, and the coach doesn't get paid a lot of money. I know that from my days back in that program in 2007, 2008, 2009. They do what they can to get a championship program going, but they make it happen. And the bowlers that earn scholarships in other fashions, they just use it towards the tuition there. So, yeah. So it's a great thing.
And one other thing to throw in there, Phil, is like, and everybody has these aspirations, especially at this level. Yeah, I want to go on the tour. I want to be the next Belmo or EJ or whatever. Let's not discount the regional program.
Yeah.
I mean, the big strength in membership with the 4,000 members we have in the PBA is our regional players, right? And these are people that, have a good job, have a good career, but still want to go out, be that weekend warrior, win a couple titles, win some extra cash. There's a lot of money to be had on the regional program. So, there's room for competing out there once you get out of college or once you decide to go this level. So.
Yeah, and even during the summers, a couple of weeks back on the PBA YouTube channel, I live streamed the regional from Strike and Spare 2 in Lockport, Illinois. And Dio Bernard was there, but there are also a lot of PBA Junior players or players that recently graduated from PBA Junior, like Landon Jordan, Griffin Jordan. Griffin's still is Griffin in
he's
age?
Aged out,
he's aged out too. Okay, because he would have been the defending national championship, but he's aged out as well. So it's neat just seeing the progression. All of a sudden, you watch the new groups coming in, like a Weston Griffin, and kind of like you go, that could be the next Landon Jordan, and all of a sudden, who's going to follow him, and who's going to be the big name? Who's going to be the next Gianna Brandolino? Who's going to be the next, even though Bella Love Castillo's got a couple more years yet, who's going to be the next Bella Love Castillo? Anna Anthony just turned 16, I believe.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the next Anna Anthony? She won the U18 girls today on the McEwen pattern. So, yeah, it's fun to watch. It really is. You want to stick around for the rest of the run, or you got stuff to get back?
I do have tournament duties to attend
to. Get your tournament duties done, sir. Mike Sleds, thanks for sending the
appreciate you having me, and
thanks for bringing the luck to the
awesome.
booth, man. Weston Griffin.
Yeah.
I'll make sure he gives you a shake of the hand after it's done. You're fully responsible for that second 300.
There you go.
All right.
And thanks for having me, and thanks for all you do for promoting this event. It's great stuff. So.
Thanks, Mike. And there's 2 more days. Stop down at Palermo Prospect. 2 more days of the PBA Junior World Series of Bowling.
Yep.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you are seeing the performance of a young lifetime right now with Weston Griffin. If you're joining us late, Trey Heinrichsmeyer, someone did something you haven't even done in the PBA LBC National Championships. Well, you did it, but you did it over 2 years, so it doesn't technically count. But Weston Griffin in games 2 and 3 tonight, back-to-back 300s, started the 4th game with the front 4. He's 289 over. Is he going to get the roller on the 10? Not quite. Weston Griffin needs a 169 game to take the lead. That's how good his games have gone for his first 5 games. He needs a 211 game to get to the magic 1,500 number. Weston out of Tennessee. A quick look on him. Looks like he's got himself an Instagram account you could follow after the squad's done. Weston Bowl, W-E-S-T-Y-N Bowl is his Instagram account. A couple pictures already out there with his jersey he's currently wearing on. And remember, last year's total, 1523 for Mark Blaha for the winning Open Classic Division score. And Weston, he's made that ball change. He is just keeping that ball as direct as possible. Trey, you were just slightly higher than that in 2023. You were in the 1530s, if I remember correct, or maybe it was 1550s. I know you were up there a bit, but definitely not quite the huge number that Weston Griffin's looking to put up tonight. Talk about even without cashing the first two events of the World Series of Bowling for PBA Junior. Oh, my. Yikes. Well, that blower 710 is going to slow him down, and that's the problem we've seen during the LBC National Championships. Haven't seen a lot of players get into game 5 and 6 and have really successful game 5s and 6s. Both of our 300s were shot in opening games prior to tonight. We only had 2 so far in the event. And now with that open frame, you're looking at a max 244. As we said, the magic 1500 number is a 211 game for Weston. And it looks like Christian Peterson down on 5 and 6 has the front 5. So we'll check in on Peterson momentarily. Wait for Griffin to make the toss. 10 goes down. Peterson looking for the front 6 as he's getting to the halfway point of game 5. There we go. Front 6 for Peterson. As he's trying to make a comeback. Peterson in the boys handicap division comes at a 212 average, so he'll probably need a back 300 game and another 300 game to get near the lead in that division. So just to give you an idea how the LBC pattern has been playing this season, there's only 8 1400 totals at this point through 3 weekends. One of those being by C.J. Petrin. Oh, roll the 2 out for a huge double there for Griffin. Yeah, we've yet to have a 1400 in the senior classic division. We've yet to have a 1400 in the women's classic division. As I said, only 8 1400s so far. So Weston Griffin looking to put up the first 1500 number of the PBA LBC National Championships. And that 1500 number could be a winning number. But you can come in and shoot your own 1,500. There's still room on the last 4 weekends of this PBA LBC National Championships, especially in July. A little crowded this weekend, except for Saturday night at 7 p.m. There's a special squad that's about half full. Following weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 27, 28, 29 is sold out, but July 5, 6, July 12, 13, still openings. PBA.com/LBC tournament, where you get that information. And while we were away, Christian Peterson on the front 7 on 5 and 6. Three in a row for Griffin. Needs to pile on a couple more just to make sure he gets into that 2-teen range. Right now, if you were to spare strike, spare out, he'd be in the 190s. So, yeah, another couple of strikes definitely needed to get to that magic 1,500 number. Well, there's one of them. That's been kind of odd that the lanes he's had problems on the last couple of games have been the left lanes of the pairs. His right lane strike percentage has got to be near 100% since game 2. Haven't had too many shots that have left anything other than maybe a rare 10-pin. Bowling can be a fickle beast sometimes. There you see the blower 7-10 for Cameron. Meanwhile, Sal carries the slow roller 10. Christian Peterson looking for the front 8. One of the 4 entries that 10 on the Deck Productions gave away to youth players. Scramble it up, take it down, front 8. For Peterson. He's keeping it cool, calm, and collected. Great toss there by Griffin, and he is going to be your new Open Classic Division leader. He's over 1,500 just by showing up in the 10th frame. How much more can he pile on? He can get to 246 if he strikes out. He can get to 1,535 for his total. It's about what Heinrichsmeyer shot in 2023. Now let's get you a quick over-the-shoulder look at Weston Griffin, first ball of his 10th frame. He's back in that IQ Ruby, and he's just making it look like it's a normal day here at the bowling center. Ho-hum, I just threw another strike. And after that 7-10 in the 4th frame, responded wonderfully. Any good count here, he's in the 230s. Another strike here, he has a chance to get to 246. Well, he'll be in the 230s, but still incredible by Weston. And if he spares this, the 234 total will give him a 1523 total. The same total that Mark Blaha took down last year for $25,000. And how about that? incredible performance by Weston Griffin tonight. There he is, getting a couple of handshakes, a couple of congratulations. But we're going to get back down as we have a player still in game 5 looking to take down perfection. As Christian Peterson, there you see him hiding behind the PBA National Championships logo. Stepping up on the front 9. His first 4 games definitely didn't go to plan, as he is at a minus 67 total, 733. Let's see what we can do here. Can we get the tasty 10th? Yes, we can. There is 10 in a row for Christian Peterson. Already had 2 300s tonight, both by the same player. As Weston Griffin put up an incredible total, 15-23 for his 6 games with back-to-back 300s games 2 and 3. And I've been informed Christian Peterson has yet to have a perfect game in his career. What a place to get your first one, and let's get a mini Duke out of it again. Hold pocket, 10 back. Great toss by Peterson, and he's making the save on a rough night so far tonight. And he could be taking home the best award in bowling for a perfect game, other than cash, and that is a mini Duke. And guess where the first 300 tonight was shot? Guess where another 300 was shot last weekend on this pair, lanes 5 and 6. Everybody stopped around Christian. He's getting that hair out of the eyes. Take your time, young man. Take as long as you need, but make sure you throw this 12th one. Solid in the pocket. Staring it down. Is it going to hold? Yes, it does. And the first career perfect game for Christian Peterson. All right, and joining me now outside the booth, Christian Peterson. Christian, rumor has it that's your first ever perfect game?
Yep.
First ever?
Yeah.
That's spectacular. So you want to say hi to anybody in the camera right there? Are mom and dad here with you bowling tonight?
Mom's here.
Mom's here? That's good to know, good to know. So, and you were one of the bowlers that got an entry that I gave away this week. There's 4 players on that pair. How does it feel with your first LBC National Championships? Up to that point, it was a little rough.
Yeah.
How does it feel now you got that 300 in back pocket?
Feels great. I mean, I've been working for this for a while now.
Okay.
It's been really hard. Really nervous up there, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how cool is it to get – you saw the Duke trophy in the tournament office. Now
Yeah.
for that 300, you get a mini Duke. You get a miniature version of that trophy. How cool is that to be one of less than 30 people in the world to have that award for a 300 game here at the LBC National Championships?
Feels great.
Yeah. Well, you got one more game to go tonight. You're getting yourself back in position. You got yourself back in the plus. I'm just saying, Weston shot 300 back-to-back before. Maybe you got a chance? What do you think?
Really hope so.
Okay. Give it your best shot. Thanks. Appreciate it. Here you go, Christian Peterson with perfection. Our second one of the night by individuals. 3rd overall tonight since Weston Griffin had back-to-back earlier. And anybody that doubts the talent level of these young players that are out here for this PBA Junior World Series of Bowling, or even a young player like Christian Peterson who just came down tonight to bowl this event. And, yeah, I feel pretty darn good now. Not to pat myself on the back, but I'm patting myself on the back. Young man that wouldn't normally had an opportunity to bowl. I gave him the chance to bowl. He won one of the 4 entries we gave away. And he shot his first ever perfect game on the live stream, and he's taking himself home a mini Duke. So we're going to stick with that pair getting into Game 6 as our leader already, Weston Griffin in the clubhouse. Yeah, we'll stick with the Peterson foursome here as they're going to be going down for their final game. Tulane's 15 and 16. Clark Bonowell on that pair. He had a 770 start. He's run into some problems the last couple of games, but still a chance with a solid last game to get in the 1400s and maybe have himself a good cashing score. So we will have more bowling. I'm going to take a short audio intermission, refresh your beverage. Man, the action's been fast and furious tonight here at Bolero Mount Prospect as these young players have been putting on a show for everyone. And thanks to everybody tonight who has joined us on the live stream for this special squad tied into the PBA Junior World Series of Bowling of the PBA LBC National Championships 2025 edition. We've more than doubled our 300 count just on one squad. It is a great night here in Mount Prospect. All right. First of all, the excitement's been insane tonight. I actually just walked by Parker Bone III without even realizing I walked by Parker Bone III because following what's going on has just been amazing. Helping me bring you some of the amazing stuff tonight, especially those great camera shots. Rogue Foppy, Rogue. Man, I'll tell you what, we were both very surprised about the talent that's been on this squad this evening. And no doubt about it, it's been a pleasant surprise.
It's been a very great squad to watch this. And especially most of these kids have been bowling all day and all day yesterday too.
Yeah.
And they're still putting up these scores. Like, dang.
Yeah.
Some amazing bowling.
Yeah, it's just been absolutely nuts. So I'm going to leave the booth to you for a few minutes. I'm going to go talk to our leader, Weston Griffin, and find out the key to his success tonight. Other than, as you told us earlier, the IQ Ruby, which he's going to be probably scanning eBay for the next month, looking for more of those bowling balls, since that seemed to be the main ball that contributed to his success tonight. Maybe he can talk to somebody at Storm and keep it from being retired. I don't know. Is that possible if they ever unretired a bowling ball? You must know if they've unretired a bowling ball.
I don't know if they've unretired. More so, I don't know, honestly.
Okay.
Because I know we still have the Phase 2 being made. We still got the OG High Road being made and everything. But I just think as long as the ball keeps doing good. They just came out with the IQ AI.
Okay.
The IQ AI, which I love that ball so much. I'll say this once, I'll say it again. The IQ line is GOAT. It is amazing.
Yeah.
And proof from Watson right now. Back-to-back 300s, 28 in a row.
Yeah, no doubt. So we'll stay on this pair to finish. So there are a lot of other pairs that are finishing up. These players are a little bit behind, but Clark Bonowell trying to make a late charge as he's at 134 over for 5, so he's got a chance to get into a catching score. And we just saw Christian Peterson shoot his first 300 game ever here on the live stream. So Rogue, take over for a little bit. If you got questions for Rogue, dump them in the chat. She's more than happy to answer those questions for you. And I think if you have any questions about bowling balls and stuff like that, she used to drill for a living, so she can answer a few questions about bowling balls for you as well. So we'll see you shortly, everybody. Enjoy Rogue, the dulcet tones of Rogue Foppy.
Alrighty, we are here. We're going to pop over real quick to lanes 5 and 6. We have Robert Bolwin up right now. Can he do it? Yes, he can. We have a 9 spare with 5 in a row. He is at +9 going into game 6. Good shot right there from Jackson. We are going to pop over right now. Actually, just heard from Phil. 23 and 26. Currently, we are on pairs 23 and 24, about to watch Drew Parker with the front 9 right now. Is that Drew Parker? That is not Drew Parker. My mistake. That is Andrew F. I do not want to butcher any last names. I apologize. We're on front 9. Ooh, 4-pin. Light hit 4-pin. Those 4-pins, man. I mean, sometimes they're worse than leaving the 7 or the 10. 4 and 6 sometimes. I will say, though, all these youth bowlers deserve a major high five, hug, round of applause. They have been bowling phenomenal, especially for those here this week for the PBA Junior World Series of Bowling. Bowling all day yesterday, bowling all day today, taking a lunch break, taking a dinner break, coming back to bowl this, and then some are still even bowling tomorrow. Really good bowling on all these kids' parts. It's amazing to see the talent in the youth community nowadays. Few decent games going on lanes 3, 4, 5, and 6. Ooh, Brooklyn carry right there. Let's go back over right now to see how Christian is bowling. Little late 9 action on that strike there. Ooh, good strike there from Olivia Portillo on lane 14. You could see that on the side of the camera. Christian working off a strike in the 5th frame. Ooh, another nice strike from Christian. Been trying to see what ball he's been throwing all day, but I haven't been able to tell. I want to say it is an ebonite ball. Possibly a game breaker 5. It's been a minute since I've seen one of those.
You should be. You should be.
Oh my god. Just had a funny instance. Phil was going around looking for Weston to interview the new leader of Open Classic. It's been a long day for everyone. Walked past him a couple of times. Good strike there from Ariana. Seen her throwing the Summit Ascent a lot of today. And it looks like she's still throwing it. Another great symmetrical ball from Storm. We're going to pop over to lane 3 and 4 real quick. Good shot from Drew right there. David Upman is up. Another good strike. Working on now a 3-bagger. He was at -1 going into this game. About to put up a decent, very good game actually. That he's at 229 right now. Let's see what Drew can do here. Another good mixer from Drew. Oh, the dreaded 3-6-10. Not the biggest fan of that spare. Looking over at Christian, he's working on another 3-bagger. Ooh, missed right just a little. Ooh, okay. Got a break there, getting that 10 pin out last second. Looks like the 1-2-4-7. We have Clark up right now with a 4-bagger. And was able to get a very nice flush strike to make it number 5. Very satisfying pickup there from Christian. Good strike there from Tyler Paulus that you just saw off screen. Take a look at them real quick. What did he just finish with? A 224. Very nice game on Tyler's part. Tyler Paulus is a local bowler to the area. Bowls out of River Rand Bowl in Des Plaines. Ooh, solid 9-pin. Very good shot from Christian. Remember, folks, we have just a little over 3 weeks left in this tournament. If you want to get in, there are still some openings left. This is a very great tournament, welcoming to bowlers of all skill levels with 6 different divisions. I personally have bowled it myself twice now, the last 2 years, and I'll be bowling again this weekend in the Women's Classic division. And there is also still plenty of pros left that will be bowling this event. I know this weekend coming up on Saturday, I believe we have AJ Chapman. Yeah, no, we definitely have AJ Chapman on Saturday, Tim Foy Jr. on Sunday, and possibly some more. Come out, bowl with the pros, meet them. They're all very nice guys. Super great to be around. Good strike in the 10th there for Clark. Nice spare by Christian. 192 going into the 10th. 202 currently with that spare. Another nice strike on Clark's part. Oh, another 9. Undeserved, but he is finishing off with a 211, that looks like, on my end. Please correct me. Nope, that is a 211. He is in the handicap, that is why it is confusing me. Shot 218 with cap, it looks like. So that'll put him roughly around 1251, I want to say. Trying to do mental math here on the fly. 229 from Clark. Going into game 6 with an 1134. That'll put him over 1300. He is in the Open Classic division as well. A baby washout here from Ariana, as I like to call that little leave. Ooh. Good effort on that part. Washouts are not my favorite either. Washouts in 3, 6, 10.
This evening's squad of the LBC National Championships. Bowlers, don't forget, please turn in your score sheets to the tournament office. The yellow copy is yours to keep, and make sure you turn the white copy in so we can get your scores verified.
And that will be a wrap on this squad here at Bolero Mount Prospect. I have been Rogue Foppy. Thank you for joining us tonight and watching these amazing youth bowlers. Be sure to tune in Saturday at 9 a.m. for the next round of the LBC squad. And we'll have AJ Chapman on Saturday joining as well in the booth with Phil Brylow. I will be back here as well. Have a good night, everyone, and a great rest of your week. We will see you on Saturday.